I'm such a competitive person. I hated losing. So I started playing sports probably like when I was like 3 years old. I started with like, or 4-year-old with t-ball. You know, in elementary school was a lot of baseball and a lot of track and field and stuff like that. Got offered the scholarship to Winona State. Like, cause after college, my son was born, and I was bartending a couple nights a week, and I was managing the Best Buy in the rotunda of the Mall of America, you know, on the first level. It was July 8th, 2011. We started with me and my buddy Sean. We were over at his apartment, sitting poolside, and then we went to Lake Elmo. We're out on the boats and doing all that crazy stuff, and we're just out messing around. And one thing led to another, racing them jet skis, and flipped the back end of his and flew off, like kind of dove, went into a diving motion and landed where there was only like 4 feet of water, and like crushed my head instantly on the bottom of the lake and crushed the C4 vertebrae in my neck. My mom insisted that I move in with her like after I went through all my therapy and all that. I talked to my case manager at the time. I was like, we need to find me something where I can just be on my own again and have my own space. I think it was within 3 months I got a call from the building here, the Thorndale, and I came in, looked at the apartment, and I was like, yep, I'll take it. And I think I was in here within like 3 months after that. Then that's how I got connected with ASI.
I am Jason's son. I am his PCA. We go out in the community, do stuff. We have a Chevy Traverse to do all that stuff in, so we can pretty much drive just about anywhere.
We'll do the shopping. We'll go to Twins games. We'll go to Vikings games. We'll go to, go to the movies multiple times a week.
We're going to Crow-Wing, and we're gonna do pontooning, fishing. There's a deck, so we can just chill out there.
That's the great thing about ASI. They'll do the getting me up, getting me dressed, like all that kind of stuff, and like helping me with my showering and all that. And then like in the middle of the night, if I wake up and need something, I have them to fall back on, versus if I were here by myself, I'd kind of be screwed. I wouldn't have, that safety net. So I would have to be in some other sort of facility, and I would assume it would be like a nursing home. And no, I couldn't do that. I'm not ready to go to pasture yet. I'm not that old.
I did well in school. I always had a lot of friends. I was always involved in whatever I could be. I didn't view my disability as something that was a hindrance to anything. I was all set to go to college right after high school, and I was ready to go to Duluth, to UMD, and then when I was in my senior year of high school, things kind of took a turn. I had been walking with my crutches completely independently since I was an early teenager, and then all of a sudden I started getting really unexplainable pain. Growing up in a small town, the doctors really didn't know much. They kind of dismissed everything, and so I ended up staying in the local hospital for 3 months. They didn't do much for me. Then I ended up bouncing around different group homes. I ended up in my last group home for about 5 years, and it turned out that the whole time, starting when I was 17, my bladder had become paralyzed, and they caught that by the time that I was about 22. In 3 months, I had 3 surgeries to remove 30 kidney stones and bladder stones, and then I had bladder reconstructive surgery because my bladder could no longer function. So since then, I've been able to get a lot of strength back, and it led me here. So now I'm able to live in my own apartment and be able to get that independence that I always had, and be able to go out for the day and not be in pain. I was in a lot of pain before, so. It's a nice setup. It looks like a mess because I have everything where I need it, where I can do things mostly myself.
Most of the time when we get new residents, they come here for a different type of setting. They are here to be independent. They are here because there's really nothing like it out there.
So over here I have my shower, and I can reach the water control, and I can reach the shower head by myself.
Because we're not a nursing home, when they come here they know that they're going to get choices, they're going to get their own space, they're going to get to make decisions that they don't typically get to make in other settings.
I like being around people, and that's the funnest part of life, is being with the people that I love and I care about. It's a really nice community here of people who really make the most of their circumstances and enjoy their life with what they have, and really take advantage of what they can do. I've always loved learning, and I've loved school, and I love learning about my own condition, which is cerebral palsy, and my goal is to go to medical school and really help other people with my condition understand it themselves. Sometimes going to the doctor, explaining to a doctor things that relate to cerebral palsy, sometimes you think that the doctor doesn't believe you, what you're saying about what's going on, because it does sound kind of odd sometimes, the things that happen, and I've had things ignored at times, and I don't want that to happen to other people. I want other people to feel like I understand what they're going through.